All right, Average Joes, day 2 of setup, and we're going to start talking specifically about ball position. The first thing we want to talk about with ball position is how far away you are from the ball. From the video yesterday, we discussed hip hinge first. So again, make sure you have the correct hip hinge. And then for me, I use a visual cue to ensure that I'm the same distance away from the ball every single time. When I set up and my line of sight goes straight down, it's a little bit of an angle, but when my right hand is directly over my laces, that's how I know I'm the right distance. So then 7-iron, doesn't matter which club it is, I set up the same way. Hip hinge, make sure I'm the right distance by using my visual cue, and now I'm set. And because the 7-iron is approximately 2 or 3 inches longer than my 56, I'm set up about 2 or 3 inches back from that point. Finally, we got the driver. Same thing. I set myself up, so I have my hip hinge. I look down and I can see my right hand over my laces, and that's how I know I'm the right distance. All right, so now we want to talk about the actual stance and where the ball is in relationship to the stance. First, I have my 56-degree wedge. I look to make sure that my feet are the right distance away from the ball, and then from here, I spread my feet. Now, this is a wedge, so my feet are about hip width distance, and I have the ball basically in the middle of my stance. This is what is comfortable for me. This is what you're going to have to start working on at the driving range, is figuring out where does this ball need to be for me to make good contact every single time. Some people like to be more in the back of the stance. Some like to be a little bit more front. A good rule of thumb is your front foot should be about, or your heel, about 1 club length away from the ball. That's basically for all of your irons and wedges. I'm a little bit more than that with my wedges just because that's what I found to be comfortable. But in a general sense, you need at least a club length between your heel and the ball. So now I switch to the 7-iron. As your clubs get longer, your stance will get wider. So again, I set up, make sure I'm in the right position, and then spread my feet. So now I'm more like shoulder distance, shoulder width. When I'm taking a swing, I use my feet as a way to tell my brain how big of a swing am I taking. The wider the stance, the bigger the swing. The narrower the stance, the shorter the swing. Okay, last one is the driver. Again, I still set myself up, feet together, so I know I'm the right distance away. And then I step. And again, I am taking a much bigger step with my driver, so you can see I'm much wider than my hips. But this is my driver stance, because again, I'm taking a much bigger swing with the driver. There's some people that are more like this on their driver setup. During your driver setup, try moving yourself more towards that front foot, especially those that slice. If you're a slicer, put the ball more towards your front, and it'll actually give the club head more chance to close as you get closer to the ball. Okay, so here, and then I'm ready to swing. So the setup, you set your feet, and then you set your width. And then from there, you can take your confident swing. All right, so that's what we got on ball position. So this is day 2 of setup done. Come back tomorrow for day 3. We'll continue this series and make sure that you're set up for success every time you step up to the ball.